Hello and welcome back to the High Altitude Investing live stream. Today is the 4th of April and we're going to be talking about crypto. Super excited about today's live stream. Let's go ahead and share the link everywhere so everybody can tune in. First on the Discord here, and then over on my X account. And we'll get started. It's going to be a good day. A good day to do a live stream. Good day to talk about crypto. And a good day to talk about why you should not sell your crypto. Because a lot of people really are kind of wondering what they should do with their money and what they should do with their investments. And we're going to be talking about the best strategies to make the most money and to really capitalize on the market's movement. It's going to be really fun. What's up, everybody? Arthur, good to see you. My friend, Mike, Core, good to see you. Tuning in. Let's go ahead and get started here. Let's start with the total crypto market cap first and foremost. So for you guys that don't know, this is all the different cryptocurrencies combined into one chart. So this is like really valuable when you're doing analysis, because the way that this basically works is if you're looking at the total crypto market cap and you're doing analysis on this, you're going to get a pretty good idea of what's going to happen for the rest of the markets. So super powerful to be looking at the total crypto market cap, because if this is bullish, then all your favorite coins are going to be bullish, right? Well, pretty much. Obviously, some move independent of each other, but for the most part, if this is bullish, then that's going to be really good for the rest of your crypto holdings. So let's go ahead and get started here with the total crypto market cap. So the first thing that you guys need to look at here with the total crypto market cap is, we'll actually drop time frame a little bit here, is how oversold we are on the MACD. So this is the MACD down here on the bottom, and this is an indicator that shows divergence in the market, either bullish or bearish divergence, but it also shows when the market's oversold or overbought. Now, basically the way that this works, if this green or if this blue and this orange line up here is on the top half of the chart, then that's really a sell signal. If this blue and this orange line is on the bottom half of this chart, then that's a buy signal. So what you're looking at here with the total crypto market cap is we are oversold on the MACD. So that's the first thing that you want to be paying attention to. We are super oversold right here, and we're just barely starting to come up out of that level, just a little bit right here off of these lows, and we're starting to move up off of those lows. So that means that we are getting ready for potentially more upside here in the crypto total market cap, because as you can see right here, when we're overbought and the market was overvalued and it started to turn around like this, you can see that led to a lot more downside on the total crypto market cap. After we were overbought, the market sold off, right? And that's exactly what we're looking at here with the total crypto market cap, only in the other direction. So this time we're oversold and we're starting to move up off of these lows, which shows me that we're probably going to see a lot more upside here in the near future and a nice turnaround off of these local lows that should take us up towards these resistance levels. So we have resistance right here, we have resistance up here, and we should start to come up off of these lows and start to head up towards these major resistance levels. Again, just like how we were overbought right here and the market had to sell off, if you're oversold, the market's going to turn around on the upside. Papa Panda, apparently you retracted your message, but you said something, so cool. I was going to respond to you and then you took your message away. What the heck? So yeah, the total crypto market cap looks good in terms of the MACD. The MACD is a very powerful signal for finding when the market is overvalued or undervalued based on it being overbought or oversold. A really good example of the market being overbought is right here. As you can see, the market was overbought right here and a huge sell-off had to happen. Then the market was oversold and a huge pump came right after, right? So this indicator works really good for finding local lows and local peaks to determine whether it's a good place to be buying or a good place to be selling. So yeah, with the total crypto market cap, I do like how oversold we are. We also see a very classic Elliott wave structure here with the total crypto market cap. So the way Elliott waves work is that you have a wave 1 impulse, then you have a wave 2 impulse, wave 3, wave 4, and then wave 5. Then you get your ABC correction that comes afterwards, as you can see, wave A, wave B, and wave C. So that's a full, complete Elliott wave cycle here with the crypto total market cap. And if you guys don't know anything about Elliott waves, you're going to learn a little bit today, right here and right now. As you can see, this is basically the way Elliott waves works. Let's pull up a full-sized version of this and zoom in a little bit here. So the way Elliott wave works is Elliott wave is a fractal, and it's a repeating fractal. So you'll get a bullish Elliott wave impulse wave, then you'll get an ABC correction, then you'll get a bullish Elliott wave impulse wave and an ABC correction and a bullish Elliott wave impulse wave, then a bigger ABC correction. So there's macro waves and there's subwaves. The macro waves are going to be your bigger picture Elliott waves, and then the subwaves are going to be those waves that are inside of those waves. So you can see wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, ABC. But inside of wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5, you can also see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, and C. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because once you understand the Elliott wave theory, the way the Elliott waves work is it's a repeating fractal. At the bottom of wave C, you get pretty excited because you know that there's going to be another bullish Elliott wave impulse coming after, as a result of that ABC correction being completed. So after that ABC correction's completed, you're going to get another bullish Elliott wave impulse, right? So what you can see here with the total crypto market cap, we do have 5 waves up and an ABC correction down. And now what we're looking for here is wave 1, wave 2, and because Elliott wave repeats itself over and over again, we're looking for that wave 3 coming as a result of completing the subwaves of wave 1. So our macro Elliott wave count right here is 1, 2. We're getting ready for wave 3, 4, and 5. And our micro Elliott wave count shows wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, and an ABC correction down right here, right? So that's pretty cool, the way the Elliott wave theory works. And it does repeat over and over again. I mean, it's just super cool to see this happen in the markets. If you zoom in right here, for example, you can count wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, and then what comes afterwards? A, B, and C, right? And then look what happens after that C wave is done. You get another bullish Elliott wave impulse, right? And we can count right here. We can count wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. See? And then we get our ABC correction down, A, B, and C. Right? And then guess what happens right here? We get another 5-wave impulse up. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5, right? So the Elliott waves are repeating over and over and over again. And then look at this. Here's an ABC correction down. A, B, and C. And then look what happens right after. The Elliott waves that we just barely counted. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, and our ABC down. So you can see how it's repeating over and over and over again. Why? Because humans trade these markets. These markets are traded by humans. And yes, of course, there's trading algorithms and bots too. But they trade based on algorithms that are trained based on human psychology. So you get the same patterns appearing in the market over and over again because people have the same biological response to the emotions that they're experiencing in the market. That's why it's called an Elliott wave impulse wave, because people get emotional and their emotions make them impulsive, and their impulsive decisions cause them to panic sell or FOMO buy. And FOMO just stands for fear of missing out, right? It causes people to get too excited and too fearful, and that shows up in the charts in terms of Elliott waves. That's how we see it appear in the markets. So I do believe, based on the Elliott wave count here for the total crypto market cap, that we will start to reverse up off of these lows and start to see a nice bullish Elliott wave impulse. We can see it based on our Elliott waves. Also, if you look right here, we do have an ABC correction right down to the 618 level. So the Fibonacci 618 level is the golden pocket, the golden ratio, and one of the best places that you can be buying. And it looks really good when the market pulls down to that 618 level in wave C. So A, B, and C, wherever you get a retest of that 618 level in wave C, that's a really good place for wave C to bottom out and a really good entry to be buying at that level. Hey Dallin, play us a tune before you end. You know, I totally would, but I didn't bring my guitar with me, and I'm in like a studio room right now. So like I don't have my guitar with me, it's at my house. Otherwise I totally would play a tune for you at the end of today's stream. Good day, Dallin, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate that, Rico. And thank you for taking a minute to tune into today's live stream. My name is Elliot. Well, cool. Nice to meet you, Elliot. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, everyone. Hey, everyone. Hey, Dallin. Hope everyone's having a blessed day. Yes, I think that most people are having a blessed day, and I trust that you guys are having a good week and that you're as excited about the crypto markets as I am. In times like this, a lot of times people kind of give up on the market. You should have seen market sentiment right here during the summer correction last year, where everybody really started to give up on the market down here, and they started to sell their crypto. They started to sell. And, you know, even on my videos, people were commenting things like, Dallin, how could you be bullish right now? Like, they were so angry with me that I was bullish down here at these levels. And then the market went all the way up to 3.7 trillion in total market cap, and we all made a buttload of money right here. So in times like this, you should be excited, even though the average person is not excited. and a lot of people give up on the market, and a lot of people get fearful. But that's the best possible time to be buying. So just remember that, okay? When everybody doesn't want anything to do with something, it's probably time to buy it. It's probably time to pick it up, because their perceived value of the market is that it's not worth anything, but the actual value of the market is that it's worth more than you're paying for it. And that's the very definition of something being undervalued, that its true value is higher than its current value. And a really good way to look at this is the fear and greed index. Let's see, fear and greed index for crypto. Here we go. So if we look at the fear and greed index, we are in fear. And yesterday we were in extreme fear. So people were really scared of the markets yesterday. Now, we haven't had this much fear in the market since Bitcoin was worth $16,000 per coin. So back over here when Bitcoin was worth $16,000, before it went all the way up to $100,000 per coin, by the way, because that's what happened after it went all the way up to $100,000 per coin. But down here, when Bitcoin was worth $16,000 per coin, everybody was so afraid. We were at a state of extreme fear on the fear and greed index. Right here, June of 2022. That's like right here on Bitcoin. We were in a state of extreme fear. People were afraid of what was going to happen to the markets. And whenever people are like that, it's time to buy. Like, it's really that simple. You don't have to overcomplicate your trading strategy. We are more oversold right now on the MACD on Bitcoin right now than we were right here. If that gives you an idea of how good the opportunity is to be buying crypto right now, then, accept it for what it is. Accept that information and that data for what it is. This gives you a really good idea of just how undervalued we are. And we are super, super undervalued in the crypto markets right now. And Bitcoin always leads too. So the altcoin season is coming. And it's coming sooner rather than later. And altcoins are going to be insanely profitable. Like, let's look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, okay? So basically this is how much dominance Bitcoin has in the market, right? So if Bitcoin dominance is going down, then that means that the other coins, the alternative coins like Litecoin, like Ethereum, like XRP, that means those ones are going up. So if Bitcoin dominance is going down, then those other coins are increasing at a faster rate than Bitcoin is. So Bitcoin is losing dominance, right? So basically what happens every bull market ever is first Bitcoin dominance increases, and then as you start to progress throughout the bull market, then altcoin dominance takes over and Bitcoin dominance goes down. So why is this important? Well, basically what it means is that when Bitcoin dominance tops out, altcoins start to go nuts. And every single bull market ever, this is what happens. Every single bull market. Every single time Bitcoin starts to increase first, starts to increase in value first, and then the altcoins take over. And I'm not saying Bitcoin stops going up in value, because Bitcoin does continue to increase in value. But the altcoins start to move faster than Bitcoin does. And when the altcoins are moving faster than Bitcoin, that's when you get these super crazy profitable runs in altcoins where you can make insane profits, like 45 times your money a lot of times on these altcoins, just because you decided to go ahead and buy altcoins when nobody cared about them, when everybody was excited about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin always leads at the start of the bull market, so everybody gets all excited about it. And you were smart enough to buy altcoins when nobody cared about them, and when everybody thought that altcoins were done for, and that they weren't important anymore. And what happens is Bitcoin dominance crashes and altcoins go nuts. And it happens every single cycle. Look at this. This is 2017. Okay. In 2017, look how crazy big the bull market on altcoins was. Yeah, Bitcoin went from being worth $1,000 per coin all the way to $20,000 per coin. But altcoins during this period, they went from being worth like pennies to like multiple dollars, a lot of them. So you're talking about some of the altcoins doing like 100x in value during this period right here. And Bitcoin went from being worth 1,000 to 20,000, so it did 20x. But a lot of the altcoins did like 50x, 100x in value during this move right here. And then look in 2021. Yeah, Bitcoin went up. It went from being worth 3,000 up to 69,000 during this period right here. But altcoins went insane. Uniswap did like 70x or whatever, 50 times its value. And, you know, Solana did like 50x, and a whole bunch of coins did like 50 times in value. Where Bitcoin did like, I don't know exactly what percentage gain 3,000 to 69,000 is, but it's not 50 times, right? So this is where I tell people, yes, it's good to be bullish on Bitcoin. I'm a Bitcoin bull. I think Bitcoin is going to do really good. But don't miss the altcoin run because you're so focused on Bitcoin. Yeah, people are excited about Bitcoin right now. That happens every bull market. And yes, they should be. Bitcoin is going to increase in value, but your altcoins are going to increase more. Like the chill disposition, Dallin, I know you think we are poised for an increase soon. In terms of days or weeks, what is your estimate? Yeah, my estimate is that we are going to start to pump on Bitcoin and on the altcoins within like the next week. Like, I personally believe that by the time I'm doing another live stream next week, we should be bullish. Like, we should be turning around by then. So, and worst case scenario, if we don't turn around right away, is that we come down to 72K, and then in like 2 weeks, we're going up. So like 2 or 3 weeks. So if we don't bottom out right away right here, which I think it's definitely possible that we do, worst case scenario, in 2 weeks, we're going to be increasing in value, right? So those are kind of my two options. But I personally am leaning more towards the bullish option for the markets right now for a lot of different reasons. And let's go ahead and look at the Dogecoin chart, because Dogecoin is actually one of the main reasons for this. So if you look at Dogecoin currently, so we're going to take Dogecoin right here, and then we're going to compare it to Dogecoin. We're going to compare it to itself, so we're going to pull up Dogecoin right here. And just take a look at, so here is Dogecoin on the left, and here's Dogecoin on the right. And we're going to switch to the 3-day candlesticks. And basically what you can see here is Dogecoin last year. Okay, so here's Dogecoin last year. And here's Dogecoin this year. Well, and a little bit of last year too, right? But this is our cycle that we did last year, and this is our cycle that we're currently doing. Now, if you look at these two charts, there's a lot of similarities, and one of those similarities is this right here. So what I see on Dogecoin right now is a double bottom forming for Dogecoin, and I personally think the bottom could be in for Dogecoin, where we do start to turn around here and start to head up towards local resistance and start to see some nice upside off of these lows. And what I think could happen is a very, very vertical move, just like what happened last year, where we start to bottom out and we really start to go up. So there's a lot of FUD right now because of the tariffs, right? Donald Trump and his tariffs. Oh no, the world's going to end. Like, the economy's going to go down forever, you know. That's like the common narrative for a lot of people. But what do you think you should do when everybody thinks the market's going to go down? When everybody thinks in their mind it's going to be this big, massive crash, what do you think you should do? Right? Especially when the market already saw a massive crash. It's already priced in. So the way that trading news works, if you are going to try to trade news, here's my word of advice for you. The market prices that stuff in. It's priced in already. When the Ethereum ETF got approved and everybody was bullish and everybody thought the market was going to go up and they thought it was going to skyrocket, you know what it did? It crashed because it was already priced in. The people that knew the ETF was going to get approved, they had been buying months and months and months ago. And they had already pumped the market. And then when everybody else was excited about the market going up, and when everybody else was ready for it to moon, because the Ethereum ETF got approved, what did it do? It crashed. The market didn't pump, it crashed. And the same thing is true for this tariff FUD. The market has already crashed. Everybody thinks it's going to crash because of this tariff situation. But if you follow the herd, you're going to be led to the slaughterhouse. So you have to do opposite of what the majority of people are doing. That's what makes a good trader and investor. And W.D. Gann is one of my favorite guys that I've been learning about and studying lately. And one of his quotes is, "Do opposite of the masses." So W.D. Gann said, "A successful trader studies human nature and does opposite of what the general public does." Opposite. You have to be a contrarian if you want to be a good investor. You can't follow the herds, and you can't try to do what everybody else is doing. That's how you lose money. Or, at the very least, that's how you don't make a lot of money. All of the biggest profits that I've ever made, that I've ever seen anybody else ever make in these markets, have come from doing opposite of what most people are doing. When Bitcoin was at 3K, after it dropped from 20K down to 3K, everybody was calling for $500 per coin. But I decided to buy not only Bitcoin, but a whole lot of other stuff. And I went all in on my YouTube channel at that point and started making as much content as I could. And then I made a bunch of money. That's the way the market works. If you want to get rich, do opposite of what the crowds are doing. And in the case of Dogecoin, in the case of Bitcoin, in the case of most of your favorite altcoins, most people think that the market's going to see a massive correction. So ask yourself what you should do with your money, right? And if you're honest with yourself, you should probably do opposite of what most people are doing. Light Clothed, what is up, Rashim? Good to see you tuning in, my friend. Matt, thank you for the comment. Yeah, it is good to be doing another live stream, my friend. Spreadhead 21, you're nuts. Well, thank you. I'd rather be called crazy than be following the masses and following the herd, because that's exactly how you lose all your money. So you can call me crazy all day, but when Dogecoin pumps and breaks out and Bitcoin goes to a new all-time high, we'll see who's crazy, okay? So look at this, okay? You've got an ABC correction over here on Dogecoin, and this is the summer correction last year. This is where I got really, really, really bullish on Dogecoin. I told my cousin to buy Dogecoin right here. He had like $15,000 to put into Dogecoin. Or maybe 20, I don't remember how much he put in. But he made over $100,000 when it pumped. So that was pretty cool, right? So let's go ahead and compare these two charts together, and we've got analysis. We've got coins that you guys want me to do analysis on, so we'll do those in just a second. So we've got an ABC correction on the right here, and we have an ABC correction on the left. The reason I'm showing you this is so that you guys can understand what it looks like when you have a full, complete Elliott wave cycle. Because if you can get this imprinted into your mind, you can start to make money in these markets. If you can actually learn how to remember this and start to identify this, you can be a profitable trader. Because what sets the majority apart from the select few people that do the right thing? They understand human psychology. What's one of the easiest ways to map out the human psychology in the market? Understand the Elliott wave count. Understand the corrections in the market. And if you look at these two charts, what happened last summer when Dogecoin went from 23 cents down to 8 cents and then broke out to a new local high is the exact same thing that it's happening on Dogecoin right now. It's just as good of an opportunity to buy Dogecoin down here at 16 cents as it was down here at 8 cents before it went to 42. It's the same human psychology playing out over and over and over again in the markets. Super fascinating and super profitable if you can understand it. Hi, Dallin. I always enjoy these live streams. Hey, thank you, Octahedron. And that's a pretty awesome name, too. In my opinion, as BTC spikes, classic alternatives such as BCH and LTC and Digi currencies should really Should really hard via them appearing as cheap and efficient alternatives. Oh, pump really hard? Yeah, so I agree. I believe what you're saying is that as Bitcoin pumps, Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin and Digibyte are going to pump as well. I believe that's what you're saying, and I would agree with you. So whenever Bitcoin pumps, you're going to get a huge increase in value in all of your altcoins as well. And whenever Bitcoin really starts to go full-blown into its bull market, that's when altcoin season starts. So once altcoin season starts, then you get a really, really, really profitable bull market. That's where you can make insane amounts of money, is when altcoin season starts. Okay, let's go back here and we'll do, let's see, Lou says he still has his wrapped dog. Nice. So we've got a request to do analysis on render. Let's do some render analysis here. So let's go ahead and pull out to the 3-day candles. So one of the best things, you guys, if you want to make money in these markets, zoom out. That's like one of the best pieces of advice I can possibly give you, is to zoom out. You're going to make way more money looking at the 3-day, the daily, the weekly, than you ever are looking at the 5-minute. This is going to give you way more accurate information as to what's going on in the market. Now, here in the case of render, let's check our Fibonacci ratio. So if we grab our Fibonacci tool over here on the left, and then we click on the very bottom, up to the very top, like this, you can see we came down to the 786. So this is a very common place for the market to see a reversal, is off of that 786 level. And that's exactly the level that we tested here with render. You can see actually what happened here is we went all the way down to almost the 786 right here. Then we came all the way up to the 236. And then all the way back down to the 786. So what this kind of looks like to me, and what it reminds me of, is actually the Japanese stock market. So back in the day, the Japanese stock market saw a pretty big correction. Let's see, what is it called? Is it the Nike? I think it's called Nike. I always forget the name of it. Nike. Yeah, here we go. Japanese stock market, Nike. Pull up the Japanese stock market here. See if we can get a full chart. We have to get enough historical data to show you what I'm talking about here. Nope, that one doesn't have it. Okay, give me just a second, you guys. I gotta find the right chart here. Nike. Is it this one that has? No, it's not. There's so many different versions of it on TradingView. You have to like look until you find the right one. Did I try that one? Yeah, I did. Okay. Nike. Give me just a second, you guys. It might take just a second to find this. Nike. Oh, man. let's go to futures, Nike futures. That's the one I'm on. Bear with me, you guys. I promise I'll find it. It just takes a second. I've been through this process before where I've had to look through until I finally find the one that shows it. Is it this one? No, I didn't think so. Oh man, that's not the right one for sure. Man, this is tricky to find. It's like looking through a needle in a haystack almost. Nope. Should be easy to find, right? But it's not. Nike index futures. We might have to try to look at this a different time. Maybe if I can find it, I'll show it in my next live stream, but I don't know if I can. Essentially, there's this fractal that I want to show you. But basically, it looks like this. The Japanese stock market pumped like this really, really hard. And I don't remember exactly the dates. I'd have to look at the chart. And then it went like this and crashed really, really hard like this. And then it kind of went like this. And then it went for one more kind of spook like that. And then it came back and completely recovered and went for a new all-time high. And what I wanted to show you is just how similar the fractal of human emotion here on render to the Nike chart was. But I can't seem to find the right chart. None of them have enough historical data to show it. I know I found it on here before, but I can't seem to find it right now, which is kind of a bummer, right? But yeah, basically this crash right here, this is almost enough of the data to show it. You can almost see it right here. Let's go ahead and go like this. There we go. So on Nike, it looked a lot like this. So this is the Japanese stock market right here. And this is render currently. And this move right here on the Japanese stock market back in the day is very similar to what happened on render. And the reason I bring this up is because human emotion never changes. And when you can find that fractal of these market cycles and you can see the same things happening over and over again, it really gives you a lot of confidence in your analysis. And in the case of the Japanese stock market right here, one of the things that it did was this final crash where it went for a new local low and really scared a lot of people out of the market, where they're like, oh, this thing's going to go way, way, way lower. And then it turned around and went bullish, right? And that's exactly the same kind of psychology that we see with a lot of these altcoins, where we went for one more low and people are really starting to think, oh, this is going to go so much lower. This is going to crash super hard. And really it just did that kind of shakeout that's really common before a big bull market. So that would be my views on render. Definitely don't lose hope on that coin. Getting it done. Good financial advice. I agree. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Okay. Maybe, let's see here. Any thoughts on RSR? Sure, we can do RSR. RSR. Let's pull up RSR here. Oh yeah, we did this in one of our last live streams, actually, recently. I still have my charts drawn up here. You can see I've got the ABC correction drawn. If you look at ABC corrections, let's look at an ABC correction here. ABC correction. Let's pull it up over here. If you look at an ABC correction, this has a 76% probability of playing out. So the ABC correction is extremely useful to be paying attention to. All of the beginners, all the noobs, all the people that have no idea what they're doing, they always sell the bottom of these ABC corrections. And it's really sad to see, but that's basically what happens. They sell the bottom because the emotion is at the bottom of wave C. The emotion is so high for your average investor that doesn't know what they're doing. They see their portfolio and they're like, man, this has gone down so far from what it used to be. And they just capitulate. They can't handle it any longer and they sell. And it's really sad because if they just understood what the ABC correction was, they would be doing the complete opposite of what they're doing. They'd be buying more. And in the case of RSR, this is a perfect ABC correction. Just exactly like what happened last summer down here, right before it broke out all the way to 2.7 cents from being worth 0.000 or 0.003 cents. Yeah, that's a 710% gain. If you would have bought the bottom of that ABC correction here on RSR last summer, you would have made 7 times your money. And again, right now we have another ABC correction here for RSR. So you just have to ask yourself, what should you do with your money? What should you be doing? Should you be selling down here? Or should you be buying? This has a 76% probability of playing out. It's a super high probability pattern. So just stay focused on what really matters. And what really matters is these ABC corrections and the fact that the market's oversold and the fact that we're in a state of fear. And yesterday we were in a state of extreme fear on the Fear and Greed Index. So that goes to show just how big the opportunity for buyers are in this market. This is a buyer's market, not a seller's market down here. So yeah, I do think it's going to turn around as a result of this ABC correction, and it could do a percentage gain even bigger than this one. This was 710% or whatever from the low to the high. This could do like 8x or 10x off of this current low for RSR. And the other thing here for RSR is look how undervalued we are in the bigger picture. You want to talk about ABC corrections? Yeah, we can find that little ABC correction down here, but let's talk about this ABC correction that hasn't even barely started playing out yet. You know, we've started to come up off these lows a little bit, but when that ABC correction fully comes to fruition and we really start to come up off of these lows, this thing is going to go nuts. It's going to go crazy. I firmly believe that. Could you do TA on Plume? Yeah, let's do some TA on Plume. Absolutely. Maybe drop to the 6-hour time frame. Here we go. I wonder if there's more historical data somewhere other than Binance, because we don't have a lot of data here. Yep, there we go. Bybit. Bybit has more data. Here we go again. Look, this looks really good. I don't think I've ever done analysis on this coin. And I'm going to tell you right now I already like it. So let's count our Elliot waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there's our bullish Elliott wave impulse. And then our ABC correction down, right? Wave A, wave B, and wave C. So again, that pattern has a 76% probability. And the way Elliott waves work is when you get a full cycle, 5 waves up and an ABC down, that's when you start to look for a new cycle, a new Elliott wave cycle to start. And the way that it looks is it's going to come up and start a new bullish impulse wave, right? And start a new cycle. And you can see that's already what we're starting to do here with Plume. We're starting to move up off of these lows. And it wouldn't surprise me at all to see this thing start to go like this and really turn around off of the ABC correction down here and start to head up towards a new local high. First, right, a new local high right here. And then this looks like the all-time high here at 25 cents. So we could break out for a new all-time high as well. I love this chart. This chart looks really good to me. I love the way it looks. This is a good opportunity. In my opinion, this is a good opportunity to be picking up this coin in preparation for a new all-time high above 25 cents. What is your price target for Dogecoin over the next 2 months? Sure, let's get it. Let's pull up Dogecoin here. And we'll zoom out a little bit here. So the next 2 months, so that means, well, we're really only on the 4th of this month, right? So we just got started for April. And so that means April, May. So you're talking, where do I think Dogecoin is going to be by June of this year? Well, I think Dogecoin could be upwards of 38 cents again. I don't think it's just going to go like this and automatically go to a new all-time high, but I do think it's going to do something like this. And by June of this year, I think it could easily be back up towards 38 cents, even 41 cents, 42 cents. I think it's going to start to head back up towards our resistance up here. And so I think in the next 2 months, we could be all the way back up to 42 cents per Dogecoin. Can you take a look at Pepe? Pepe. This coin has a special place in my heart because last year this coin was extremely profitable for me. I shorted the top here on Pepe, and this was just printing money. It was so much fun to trade this coin. And I really, really, really enjoyed shorting the top right here on Pepe before the summer correction happened. That was super fun. So I do like Pepe a lot just because of that reason. Now, again, this is an ABC correction, you guys. You can see it in the chart. Wave A, wave B, and wave C. That's an ABC correction. It's a textbook ABC correction. And crypto isn't the only thing that does this. The ABC correction isn't something that's exclusive to cryptocurrency. Take a look at the NASDAQ, right? Here's the NASDAQ during the internet bubble pop. So here's what the NASDAQ looked like when the internet bubble popped, right? Here's the run up, and here's the pop that came afterwards. And if you look at the NASDAQ right here, you know what it did? An ABC correction, wave A, wave B, and wave C. So just, remember that when you're trading these markets, everything that you're learning about trading and investing in crypto, you can go apply it to every other market in the world. It doesn't matter what you're looking at. Why do I personally trade crypto? Because it moves faster. The stock market takes forever to move. And also, additionally to that, crypto has bigger percentage gains. So where the stock market sees like a move of 5% over like a year or whatever, cryptocurrency, you can make 45 times your money in a year with crypto. I've done it before. So the percentage gains are way bigger with cryptocurrency. And look what happened to the NASDAQ after that ABC correction bottomed out, right? It went nuts. And it's on major support right now too. So for all the people that are really, really bearish on stocks, you might want to be careful getting bearish when we're on major support. That's all I'm going to say about the stock market today, except we will probably look at the VIX before we call it a day. So yeah, Pepe, we're at the bottom of an ABC correction. This is a time to be thinking like a buyer, not a seller. Thank you from the BitConnect days. I never did BitConnect. Tony Bits 369. In fact, I was one of the few people that was warning people against BitConnect because I thought it was a total scam. And it did turn out to be one of the biggest scams in crypto. So no, I've actually never liked BitConnect. I've always thought BitConnect was really dumb. And I'm glad I did because it went to zero. And everybody that was part of it got wrecked. So I tried to warn people about that. Rashim, or Light Cloth, my friend over here, he has a great YouTube channel, by the way, says Wrapped Diggity Dog is gonna go stupid. And yes, I think it will. So, Digibyte. Let's do some Digibyte. DGB, baby. Oh, look at that. Digibyte is doing good right now, you guys. So today's lesson, we've talked a lot about ABC corrections, and here's a perfect example of an ABC correction here on Digibyte. And now we're starting to bottom off of these lows. You can see the market's starting to show signs of strength off of these lows. And what I think is going to happen is a nice vertical kind of breakout here on Digibyte. Now, it's not going to go straight up probably. It's probably not going to do this, right? But it probably will do this. Something like this. And start to break out and see a big rounded bottom for Digibyte. So yeah, I really, really like that ABC correction here. And by the way, it's just a little version. This ABC right here is a little version of what's happening in the bigger time frame for Digibyte as well. So if we pull out the chart to the bigger time frame, you can also see in the bigger time frame we have a big ABC correction. So that little ABC that we're seeing on the smaller time frame is a microscopic, a microcosm of the macrocosm, the bigger ABC correction here for Digibyte. What about Litecoin? Yeah, we can do Litecoin, LTC. Oops, there we go. Yeah, Litecoin is also an ABC correction, you guys. A, B, and C. See how nice that looks? And then we have sideways accumulation. This is very common after an ABC correction. A lot of times you'll see sideways accumulation, especially in these bigger time frames like the 1 month or the 1 week. On the smaller time frames, if you see an ABC correction, it's a lot more common for it to just kind of turn around. But on the bigger time frames, you're going to see a lot more sideways accumulation usually before it finally takes off, right? So this is very common kind of structure here for Litecoin or for the crypto markets to see sideways accumulation like this here on Litecoin. And then what I think is going to happen is a nice turnaround off of these lows. It'll look kind of like a big rounded bottom. And a really good example of a similar structure of where the market did the same thing back when I first got into Bitcoin, back when my little brother told me about Bitcoin, and he's like, hey, there's this magic internet money that you can mine with your computer and it's worth real money. And I looked at him and I said, that is the biggest scam I have ever heard of. There's no way that's true. I was skeptical of crypto, by the way. I was kind of a hard sell at the start. And then I came around because I started to look into it and I was like, oh, this is actually kind of cool. But yeah, Bitcoin over here on the right. My little brother told me about Bitcoin in 2014 because of a Watch Mojo video that he watched. And then, and then I bought my first Bitcoin down here in 2015 for like around $200. It was like, I think I somehow managed to buy it at around like just under $200. So that was really cool. And then it went to the moon. And it was like the funnest thing ever. It was like really exciting, right? But this right here is Bitcoin over here on the right. And then we have Litecoin over here on the left. And I wanted to bring this up to show you guys what a common market cycle looks like, what a common ABC correction looks like in the crypto markets, and just how big the pump that comes afterwards, right? Just how vertical the pump can be afterwards. So you get that sideways accumulation like this. Then you get a vertical breakout like this. We've started to see that a little bit with Litecoin. And you can see both Bitcoin and Litecoin also pulled back. So after Bitcoin broke out to $500 here, it pulled back down to 300 right here. So there's a pullback right here. And you can see Litecoin also doing the same thing, right? Breaking out from 57 up to 145 and seeing a pullback right here. So I really believe Litecoin will head into a bull market here and start to turn around as a result of this ABC correction that we've already seen historically on a lot of different coins and markets throughout history. And it's not just Bitcoin. This ABC correction is valuable and useful to do and to draw and to look at. You really believe in Wrapped Dog? Yes. AJ Rickert Epstein. Thanks in advance. Bell's Coin TA. Yeah, thank you for that donation. I appreciate that. Yeah, we can look at Bell's Coin. Let's do it. I believe this is this the right one? Bell's Coin on CoinEx here? Let's see if this is the right coin before we get all crazy into analysis on it. Is this the right coin? Bell's Coin on CoinEx? Or maybe, yeah, this looks right. Bell's Coin. Let's see what AJ says here before we get doing an analysis on it. Is this the right coin, my friend? Bell's Coin? BELLS coin? Bell's Coin? No response. All right. Well, I'll just start doing analysis on it. If it's wrong, we'll go find the right one. But I think this is the right coin. I'm pretty sure this is the right coin. Oh yeah, CoinX. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I got the right one. My bad. I didn't see that you put the whole thing on your... Yeah, this is the right one. Cool. So, yeah, this is a pretty big correction, right? It kind of looks scary. But I have good news for you. This is the kind of stuff that a lot of times I look for. Is these big, brutal corrections that everybody gives up on something and really it's a good time to buy. And that has proven to be a very profitable strategy for me in the past. And you can see that we do have 5 waves up here. And then we do have an ABC correction down, right? So 5 waves up and an ABC correction down. Very classic Elliott wave structure. This is an expanded flat too, which is why wave B goes up over the top of wave 5 right here. It's because it's an expanded flat correction. So you can type in expanded flat, and you'll get a lot of examples of these expanded flat corrections and kind of what they look like. But essentially, wave B goes up over the top of wave 0, and then that wave C comes back down for a big, brutal move. And it usually tricks a lot of people. A lot of people buy the market right here. So kind of what I think could happen here, let's check the MACD, and we'll zoom in to a smaller time frame, like maybe the 6 hour. And yeah, there is bullish divergence here on the MACD as well. So here on the 6 hour time frame, you can see we do have bullish divergence on the MACD, which is one of my favorite buy signals. And that did lead to a little bit of a move up here off these lows. And now what I think could happen here with Bell's coin is a double bottom. So we've got, this is a very classic setup for a double bottom pattern, where the market sees a big ABC correction. Then at the bottom of that ABC correction, you get bullish divergence, and then it kind of does a shape like that, and it ends up being a double bottom right here, right? That's a very classic sort of structure for a double bottom pattern in the markets. I've seen that time and time again in my trading and investing. And in the case of Bell's coin here, I do believe we could easily see a reversal off of these lows, and basically this will be a double bottom right here. Because the way a double bottom works is you come down, you hit your first low, you come up, you make a resistance point, then you come back down, and then you break out through that resistance, and that's a double bottom. That's what a double bottom looks like. And in the case of Bell's coin, we do have a setup right here that could easily turn into a double bottom off of these lows. We're oversold on the MACD currently. We had bullish divergence on the MACD over here, which probably hasn't fully played out yet. It's only started to play out. So I do think we will get a nice reversal off of these lows. And by the way, if you go to a bigger time frame, like let's go to the 8-day time frame, for example, you can see just how oversold we are on the MACD here on the 8-day time frame. So this thing is very, very, very oversold down here. And even on the 4-day time frame, we're oversold, but we had a bullish cross. So that's where this blue line crosses up through this orange line, and that's a buy signal. That's a bullish cross here for Bell's coin. So essentially, I think we will turn around. We have good volume here. We have an expanded flat correction, and we have bullish divergence on the MACD and a potential double bottom forming for Bell's coin. How high can it go? Well, honestly, one way that you can do this is you can measure with your Fibonacci extension tool from your peak low to your peak high back down to your peak low. And if this thing really starts to turn around here and see a bull market, then you can go ahead and measure these extensions. I got to add them back to my chart. I took them all off the other day. You can start to look for these extensions in the market, and a lot of these extensions are going to be potential targets for Bell's coin. So the 1618 is your first minimum target for wave 3. So if we do bottom out right here, then the minimum target for wave 3 is the 1618 level, which would be $3. But most of the time with crypto, we go to the 2618, right? And then after that, we could go up towards the 3618. It's possible this thing could go to $6, you know? So keep your eyes on the prize, you guys. That's how you make money in these markets. AVAX. Yes, and then you guys, I'll do AVAX and Velo, and then I gotta go. Then we're gonna call it a stream for the day. So I really like AVAX for a lot of different reasons. But one thing, I actually was looking for a potential correction. So my VIP members know, because I posted a chart right here in my VIP where I was looking for a potential correction here on AVAX. And the reason that I was looking for that was because I was comparing AVAX to Amazon. Again, if you want to understand markets, study human psychology. And if you want to have a good study of human psychology, go look at historical cycles. Go look at examples of the internet bubble and the pop that happened after the internet bubble. Go look at gold cycles. Go look at whatever you can find to study the cycles in the market, and then you're going to learn a lot about the way markets move and the psychology in these markets. And here's Amazon.com, and here's the internet bubble right here, and then here's where the internet bubble popped right here. And then what a lot of people don't talk about, all they ever talk about is how the internet bubble popped and a bunch of people lost a bunch of money. That's all people ever talk about. But what nobody ever talks about is what happened after the internet bubble popped. Look at the bull market that came when the internet was mass adopted by the public. And that technology became an average, everyday thing for average, everyday people. This is what happened. Okay? The stocks went at, like all of the stocks associated with the internet bubble, not all of them, some of them died and never recovered, but the ones that had real value, they went astronomically high. They completely skyrocketed. This is what nobody ever talks about. All they talk about is, oh, the internet bubble popped and people lost a bunch of money. Yeah, if you would have bought the dip after the internet bubble popped, you would have a mansion right now, if that's what you want. Or maybe you could have donated $5 million to your favorite charity. But no, people want to talk about the fact that the internet bubble popped, and that's all they care about. And it just makes me, I'm like, you guys, don't be so ridiculous. Don't be dumb, people. And here we go. So here is AVAX over here on the left, and here is Amazon over here on the right. This was our crypto, quote-unquote, bubble in 2021. And here's our crypto bubble pop here in 2022. And what AVAX is doing right now is exactly what Amazon did after the internet bubble popped and it went into the disbelief phase of its new cycle, when everybody was in disbelief that a new market cycle was going to start. But it did. Not only did it start, but it skyrocketed and blew people away. And I personally believe AVAX is set up for a very similar kind of move here. In the bigger picture, I believe AVAX is one of those coins that will get mass adopted by the public, and it will skyrocket, and it will make a lot of people super rich. So keep your eyes on the prize. I mean, this looks amazing, you guys. This looks like buying Amazon down here at $1.36. And by the way, we can measure the percentage gain from current price. And I'm not saying that we're going to get the exact same kind of a move here. I'm not saying AVAX has to get as mass adopted as Amazon did. But if we measure percentage gain from current price up to where we're at right now, 10,000% gains. After the internet bubble popped, we saw a 10,000% gain on Amazon.com. This is the kind of psychology that you have to have if you want to be profitable. You got to do opposite of what the masses are doing, because the masses are still thinking in terms of crypto is that crazy thing that popped, that bubble that popped, and they forget what mass adoption looks like and just how big the percentage gains can be when that happens. Okay, Velo fib extensions. Yes, we'll do Velo fib extensions here. And then we're going to call it a day, you guys, because I'm over 16 minutes over what I was planning to do. Okay, Velo. Let's look at Velo. So, Velo fib extensions. We can do this. We can measure from our bottom here to our peak and back down to our bottom. And what you can see here with Velo is our Fibonacci extensions. So in the case of Velo, we have our first major extension is the 2618. This is our minimum target for wave 3. So we have wave 1, 2. This is our minimum target. Well, actually our minimum target's a 1618, my bad. But most commonly, the 2618 happens for crypto. That's 10 cents per Velo. So that's almost 10 times from current price. Then we get our wave 4. And our fifth wave could take us all the way up to the 786, which would be 30 cents per Velo. So those would be extensions for Velo in the near future. And this could all happen by 2026. We could reach 30 cents per Velo, which is like almost 30x, right? That's pretty dang good. It's like 25 times your money. Yeah, 25x. From current price. So there you guys go. Thank you for tuning in. I love you. I appreciate you. We're 20 minutes over, but that's okay because I love doing these live streams. Thank you guys for all of your requests. Thank you for all of your comments and kind words. And I look forward to seeing you guys in future live streams and videos. And as always, stay profitable out there.